Recorded. All right, do you guys mind if we record this today?
Sure.
Awesome.
Sounds good.
Thanks, Wendy. All right, thanks, Sarah. All right, so you guys, I have a chair here, and we're just gonna start with some, let's make sure you can see me. Okay, so that way your feet can kind of be planted, and hopefully you feel like you're on your sit bones. And then I'm just gonna mute you guys for a minute so that the screen stays on me. And so, actually, Sarah, if you can just mute yourself, it's not letting me mute you. To the bottom left-hand corner. Okay. And then Wendy, if you can just hit mute. Perfect. Okay. So let's just start, you guys, with some nice deep breaths. I'm having a horrible reflection off my mirror. Okay. Nice deep breaths. Bring the arms up. Just kind of notice if there's any tension along your side body either way, or if you feel like it's pulling down into your low back. And exhale. We teach something called filling and emptying breath. It's also under the core section of the website, where you imagine that the belly is just a nice open balloon, and like the perineum would be the top of the balloon, the knot would be here. And so as you fill, that balloon just fills, your perineum relaxes, and as you empty and exhale, just the air goes out. This can be really valuable for relaxing throughout pregnancy. You feel like your sit bones might be tucked or guarding. So we're just going to imagine that balloon in our bellies, and we're just going to take a nice deep inhale. Filling all the way, feel your perineum even on your chair or whatever you're sitting on, and exhale. So sometimes the chair can give a little bit of feedback there. That can even be used as like a reverse Kegel, where you inhale and you just slightly press so you feel that tissue press into the surface more. And then as you exhale, it just lifts up a little bit. And then I'm not necessarily recommending you do a Kegel right this minute, but if you were to do a Kegel, you'd feel that slight squeeze and lift, which then again, when you're sitting, you can feel that decreased pressure on the surface. So just as a way to get some feedback. Plus, when you're sitting, then you're working against gravity as opposed to laying down, you wouldn't be. So again, just keeping that in mind, we want to connect the breath and the pelvic floor, and this will serve you throughout pregnancy as well as in your delivery. So you're inhaling, nice big filling breath. Feel that pressure down in the chair. Exhale, it just lifts off a little bit. Inhale, give your body a few breaths to figure this out. Exhale, slight lift. And exhale, slight lift again. So anytime, I want you guys to always think about that filling and emptying breath first. And if you're going to add a reverse Kegel or an actual Kegel, add that in later. They can be separate or together, but it just helps that breathing and pelvic floor motion to be in sync. Does that make sense? Give me a thumbs up if yes. If I need to explain something, okay. So now we're going to add a side bend stretch. Again, a lot of times we get really tight in through here. In pregnancy, boobs are growing, belly is growing, babies are kicking, it torques on our ribs. And so no matter how far along you are, keeping some nice motion in through here is really, really valuable for that not taking a toll on your mid-back or even down into the low back. So we're going to take a nice breath up, inhale, and then exhale as you side bend. Doesn't matter which side, we'll do both. Inhale, bring it back, and exhale. Inhale again, next arm comes up, we're going the other way. Nice and gentle, just that body awareness. You know, Wendy, part of why people are like, oh, don't do this and don't do that. Keep going, you guys. Inhale and side bend. But your ligaments do stretch, and you do have that relaxin hormone that comes in different ways and waves and surges in the body. And so that's why, as you're aware, you're doing it on purpose. You know, you're feeling into your body as you're doing these things. So you're not just randomly yanking or twisting. You're feeling everything open. You can notice where there's tight spots or asymmetries. One more time over to this other way. Because the ribs can be vulnerable to kind of getting yanked, but when we're moving nice and evenly and slowly like that, much less chance of injury. And say, for example, like I notice more tightness when I'm going this way. You guys can come back up. I'm noticing more tightness here than when I go the other way. So I could spend a little extra time just gently easing into that, opening that space, maybe rounding different directions, seeing, just so that it doesn't become problematic. Does that make sense? Thumbs up, thumbs down? Okay. Now we're just gonna add a little bit of rotation for the same reasons. Again, we wanna be mindful. We wanna take this nice and slow, but keeping that rotation there. This is not an area that really talks to us in terms of, hey, I'm tight, hey, I'm painful. The problem is when that starts to lock down, you don't know it until you get neck pain, headaches, or shoulder pain. Obviously, we wanna avoid that. Same kind of thing, a nice deep inhale. And we're just gonna drop and go to the side. Sometimes depending on your chair, you can use the back of the chair to add a little bit. Again, being careful, inhale, come up, not yanking or doing super fast. Just noticing how going to the right feels. Notice how going to the left feels. Inhale as you're taking that deep breath. Exhaling as you twist. You guys can just stay at your own pace. I don't want to rush or slow your breathing. So again, I'm noticing I'm definitely tighter when I go to the right. So maybe I would spend a few extra ones going to the right just to help, again, my body be as mobile and as relaxed and symmetrical as possible. None of us are totally symmetrical. We have a dominant side. We have all these patterns. But again, those asymmetries can make us more predisposed to something tweaking or shifting out. So we just want to minimize that. Notice how it feels down into your low back, your hips, your sacrum. One or two more till you feel kind of balanced out. Feel free to go to an extra side if you have a tighter side. You don't have to do exactly 5 on each. Go ahead and unmute for a second. Let me know what you guys are feeling.
Definitely still, I feel exactly kind of what you were saying. It's just one side's a lot tighter than the other.
Which side is it for you, Sarah?
My right side.
Okay. Is it pulling all the way down into your low back?
Nope, just mainly my shoulder and a little bit on the ribs.
Okay. How about you, Wendy?
Yeah, my right side too. I'm very right dominated, and it's I could feel it through my side and my ribs, more high than low.
And which way was tighter rotating? Was it going to the right or to the left?
Oh, you know what? To the I would say to wait, yeah, definitely to the right. So,
which is common because when we're right-handed, we tend to already rotate to the left. So going left is like whatever, and going back to the right's like, ooh, wow, man. So
yeah.
Again, doing a little more side bending to open the right and a little more rotating to the right would be good just to keep things feeling as mobile as possible. Next thing you'll need is something to hold on to. We're going to do the squat, not like a workout squat, a squat like for a stretch. I'm gonna move.
Do you like a chair or do you?
Well, so I'm going to hold on. Let me see it. Make sure you guys can see what I'm doing. So I've got my bedpost right here.
Okay.
And then I'm just going to drop down. A lot of times the way I teach this is at a sink, but I know most of us probably aren't in our kitchens or bathrooms. But you just kind of drop down. You really can't see me. Let me put it on the floor. So I drop down so that I'm holding on. and I'll just pivot because I can hold on to this. So in front, your knees or feet can be as wide or as narrow as feels good to you. If this feels better to you, great. If this feels better to you, great. You just want to be somewhere. It helps to, I'm going to give you the side view again. When you're down like this, to again stretch out the lats, the ribs, all the way down to the low back. And because of how we're hopefully positioning our knees and hips, everything's in the middle. So it helps to keep that saddle area through the crotch and groin more open and relaxed. How's this one going for you at this point, Sarah? Are you getting too far along for this to feel good?
I'm still doing it at my sink, and it's actually feeling pretty good still.
Okay.
Just depends on how tight I am at the moment, but I'm still doing it every day, and it's helping for sure.
Awesome. Yeah, it's one of my favorites for helping keep baby downward and center, for keeping the hips and back open. And again, the way we hold on, you know, especially if there was a sink up there, it gets all the way down from my shoulder, all the way down through the ribs and spine into the sacrum and low back area down here. So just go down, hold for a little bit, see how that feels to you guys.
Is it, I mean, can I ask a question? Sorry.
Yeah.
If I have a yoga ball and did like squats with a yoga ball like against the wall, would that be something, or do you want something more supportive?
Well, you would miss the opening and stretch because you won't have something to hold on to. The kitchen sink is perfect, Wendy. I'll shoot you the video. Try it later.
Sure.
Don't worry too much right now if you don't have a great spot.
Yeah.
The edge of the crib, you might even be moving the crib, so that
You
would.
know, I have a dresser here. I'll try it with that. We'll see.
Yeah, the sink is perfect. Like I said, we'll send you the video and you can try it out later. Because yeah, sometimes that opening down from the shoulder and the ribs all the way down is part of what feels so nice.
Oh, good. Okay.
And again, it's just it's one of those, you're in the middle, everything's symmetrical and opening down the whole spine.
Okay.
But yeah, it's great to know you have a yoga ball. Those are super helpful. We're gonna switch back. Go ahead and get a chair again, you guys. We're gonna get into a little bit of exercise. Rotate that again. Angle this down. Hopefully you'll be able to see my chair. Okay. So we have level 1 squats. Go ahead and mute yourselves again for a minute. And again, these videos are under our strengths tab on the website. Level 1 and level 2 squats. So level 1 squats, you're gonna sit in a chair. You lean forward just enough. Again, be as wide or as narrow as feels good to you. So obviously as belly gets bigger and is kind of in the way right here, that will impact things. You're gonna shift your weight forward till your weight's in your feet and then just go straight up, using those legs, pressing through the heels. Down, you can really get your money's worth right there by going nice and slow. I'm not plopping into the chair. You're staying kind of on, back up. Let's get about 10 in and just see how that feels. Don't rush them. We're letting the muscles work. Feeling that back open right here as we go down. That should feel nice. If one side's yanking more than the other, you might want to change something or stretch something out first. Just nice and steady, up and down. You okay, Wendy?
I think I'm gonna go grab a chair. I'll be right
Oh,
back.
okay. Yeah, no problem. Go ahead and finish your 10, Sarah. How are those feeling to you?
I feel good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Awesome.
No pulling or anything, so that's great.
Yeah, such a big difference.
Yes.
Yeah, I think we only have one more for you before D-Day, right?
Yeah, we'll see. I mean,
Yeah.
It's kind of like
You
it
might
could
be
happen.
like, this baby's not out yet. Get me on the schedule.
Exactly. That might happen. We'll see. You just never know.
You don't. All right, Wendy. So that's the level 1. So give that a try for a second. You're just going to, obviously we could get up easy if we just like lunged forward, right? But you're going to just move really slowly till your weight goes into your feet and press up through the heels. Nice. And then you can really get your money's worth in the butt, quads as you lower. Nicely done. And you can play around with a little, try your feet a little bit more narrow, see if that feels harder, easier, better, worse. We want a bit of a challenge, but we want it to feel like our hips are happy. Good. Give me a thumbs up if you guys are ready to try the level 2 version. Awesome. It's not much harder. You start standing, and instead of sitting into the chair, you just use the chair as a target. You go, you tap the chair, stand back up. You go down, tap the chair, stand back up. Slight, and I mean slight, tuck of the abs or just the slightest lift indicating kind of a Kegel. If you really want to do the optimal of syncing it with your breath, you would inhale on the way down, exhale and lift as you come up. Inhale on the way down, exhale, slight lift on the way up. Don't panic too much about getting out of rhythm with the breath. It's not critical. Those look nice and smooth, you guys. I can't see the whole motion, but looks pretty smooth. Let me know when you get about 10 of those in. Brilliant. Those look good. Okay. Push-ups are also under our strengths one. Probably with where our setups are today, none of us really have an ideal situation for that. I love the kitchen island or a bathroom counter for that because yes, it's up higher, but then your form can be perfect as you go down and up. So actually, just as an example on my dresser here, this is pretty high, but as you lower and push away, I'm straight from shoulder to my feet, just a slight tuck here. Obviously, his belly's out here, you're not tucking anything, let's be honest. But you can keep that good form. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. And then to get more challenging, you just go to lower heights of furniture. So those are on the website as well. Sarah, how are you feeling laying on your back these days? Do you do any bridges anymore or not really?
I do bridges, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Wendy, you want to go through some bridges?
Sure.
These are one of my favorite core for pregnancy and postpartum. Postpartum too, as women are building that foundation back up. Bridges are so nice and safe because you're laying on your back. They're not going to challenge if women are struggling with diastasis. They don't create a bulge, yet you can still kind of work those front muscles and back muscles a bit in a safe way, easy to kind of feel if you're doing them correctly and so on. So I'll show you for a second in case you guys won't be able to see me once you lay on the floor. There's several right ways to do bridges also, you guys. So the way we teach them is that we want this whole box in the middle to lift up together, set down together, lift up together, set down together. Sometimes, especially Pilates, they'll roll up and roll down. Not right or wrong, just a different purpose. We're trying to keep muscles on front and back working. So we want to keep this as one unit. So like this box on top, if you tuck, it gets smaller. And if you let your butt lag, it gets bigger. So wherever your flat neutral is, you're just going to inhale and exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. If you accidentally come down and realize your butt sits down second, it probably wasn't moving quite together. No big deal, just reset, go again. Why don't you guys try a set of 10 of those and let me know how it's feeling.
How far apart are your feet? Just curious.
About hip width. Again, this can be partly comfort. You don't want them way out here. It's just going to be an awkward torque. So pretty much right under the knee and hip width apart.
Okay. Thank
Or
you.
just slightly wider than hip. Again, where it feels like you can press through the heels. You don't want to let the knees collapse together, and you don't want them way wider than your feet. Those look good, Wendy. I can actually see you. Exhale, good. Inhale, exhale, inhale. Yeah, those are looking good. How'd that feel, Sarah?
Those feel good. I do like a prenatal yoga video that actually has bridges as part of it.
Oh, good.
And they have you put a ball though between your knees and do some, and then between your like thighs and do some. Is that
so
okay?
Absolutely. I'm gonna grab the band right here. So the thing is, with women, we tend to be inner thigh dominant. So if I emphasize something, I rather do sort of like a circle band you can tie like this. And we have these at the office. We can get you one if you want, Wendy. And obviously we can get you one too, Sarah, because you could use it postpartum. So I like this just to emphasize the outer thigh and glutes, because women tend to, like, if you ever watch women do squats, a lot of times you'll see that we squat and kind of do this deal and our knees come in. We tend to be dominant inner thigh and slightly weaker butt and outer thigh. So the ball thing's not wrong. It's a great stability tool. I just tend to think that we need more of that outer stability, so you can band like this as you do bridges and keep that slight tension out. You can also do that with both the squats we did.
That's great. Okay.
And just kind of keep that tension. You don't want to be wobbling in and out. You just keep that same tension on that circle up, down. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's great.
So yeah, the ball's not wrong at all. I just tend to find that's not an area we need added strength. But for control and for holding that position, the ball's still a nice target to have that pressing inward on.
Okay.
All right, you guys, so let's go ahead and stand up. And we'll do, speaking of, I was actually going to get the band next. You can do this next one banded or not. Let me see if I can get a better angle. So we're going to be in just a slight squat position. So from the side, I'm standing normal. I'm going to go into just a slight mini squat. Tiny little tuck of the abs, not a full suck it in. We don't want to change that whole angle or be tucked under, but it's that slight squat. And then I'm not going to go far so that I don't go out of camera angle, but you can just stay in that little squat and do side steps back and forth. Obviously, you could add the band. Stay in that little tuck, and now I've got just a little bit of resistance. For slightly more resistance, you could put the band at your ankles and have to step. You can't see it now, but it's around my ankles. So you'll probably feel as you get going, it's starting to burn the butt a little bit, which is great. Should be right in the center of the glutes. If you're feeling a pull at the pubic bone, we don't want to do that. Either get your stance a little more narrow and don't go as far apart from each other, or maybe that won't be the right exercise for you. Pubic symphysis pain is really common in pregnancy. Very treatable though. A lot of women are told you're basically SOL until you have the baby, and that is just not true. How was that feeling, you guys?
So I could feel that in the back of my hip was where it was actually like aggravating it.
Oh,
is that similar?
like an annoying pinch, not a but
like the SI joint.
Oh.
Is that, I'm using the wrong
What I'm
muscles?
guessing is that side that you tend to have an issue on, the glute our glutes attach right there. So you've
Okay.
got the border of the sacrum. So if the left's already a little bit not exactly aligned, then you got the glute pulling on that side because they attach right to the border of it. I'm guessing it just made it mad.
Okay. Yeah.
Probably not hurting anything, but might as well stop.
Okay. Yeah.
How about you, Wendy? How's that feeling for you?
How far should I be squatting down? Just a little slight?
Like a quarter squat, yeah. So head and chest stay up. Like you don't want to be like this. So head and chest stay up. You just drop into stick your butt out, like again, like you're about to do that squat to the chair.
Okay, yeah, that feels good.
Are you getting a little bit of burny work going in the side of your glute?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay, then you're doing it right. So let's go ahead and stretch that out for a second. Grab your chairs, you guys. So here's another one that, especially if you have a tendency to be bendy, you want to be careful how you do this one, but it can be so great for opening the hips. So you're going to do a figure 4. So I'm crossing my ankle over my opposite knee. I can angle it down somewhere. So you guys see what I'm doing there? So my left side's my tighter side, so I'm actually already feeling this just from sitting up straight. So stretching for myself, I would just stay here and take some deep breaths and kind of imagine that area like sinking and opening up around this outside part of my hip. If this isn't a stretch yet, you can stick your chest out a little forward and lean. Kind of as a side shot, uncrossed. Like just, so here I don't feel anything. But if I just sit up straight, it's already stretching in through here. So I love this too. You can do it near a table or counter or just like we are in a chair. Lean a little. That's talking to me. I'm definitely feeling a stretch. So I just hang out here, take some of those nice filling and emptying breaths. So sometimes when we stretch, we accidentally clench somewhere. So just make sure your belly relaxes. Nice deep breaths. You guys able to feel that? So it stays straight at first, relax it a little bit, and then you can slightly turn towards the knee. Notice if that increases or decreases tension and where. Do a couple breaths there. So again, I'm not torquing my ribs or my hips a lot. Turning just a little bit, leaning. That adds it a little bit as it wraps around my butt towards my back. So I'm just going to take a few deep breaths there. Once that eases, you can also turn away from the knee. Now, sometimes when I do this one, I don't feel anything. It just alleviates the tension. It's not really doing a whole lot. Sometimes I start to get it through the inner part near the groin. So if you feel something the other way, go ahead and do a few deep breaths and open that up also. This is one you want to make sure you're not accidentally holding the glutes or holding any kind of Kegel. We just want to let things relax and open. Switch sides. Start in the center, lean forward. Couple of nice deep breaths there. You should feel the general tension start to ease. And again, turn towards the knee. Come back to center and then go away from the knee. Just scanning the body, letting things open with your breath. Even here, you might feel a little bit, I'm getting some in my lower ribs. Again, not yanking, not forcing, just deep breathing, slight twist. Beautiful, come back to center. So one of the things I want to for sure teach you guys, I think we've gone over this, Sarah, but so you're saying which side when you lay down flat, which side feels like it's more into the floor or table?
My left.
Okay, so your left's posterior. Okay. Do you know, Wendy, if you're feeling particularly off at all?
Not yet.
Okay, so you're gonna just do one on each side, because this isn't gonna hurt anything, and it'll help make sure you feel things are in the center. So Sarah, for you, you're gonna slightly raise your left knee and resist with your own hands. I don't know if you guys know, kind of like isometric just means you're resistance, but you're holding, you're not moving through resistance, it's just holding a steady hold. So you're applying, it's hard without me showing you the force, but it's not a lot of force. You just basically want that right foot's gonna push into the floor, left knee is gonna lift, and you're just kneading, you're just turning those muscles on. So you want the right pushing into the floor, similarly resistance to the left pulling up. Hold for about 10 seconds. And relax. And then Wendy, you're gonna switch, you're gonna do the same thing on the other side. Sarah, you're gonna stick with just raising the left knee. And I'm gonna focus on the right. So you're just applying that resistance, holding about 10 seconds. This can also be done laying on your back. It's called a pelvic reset. We have it on the website too. So one more time, Wendy, you can either just not do this one or do one more of each on each side. Usually we do 3, so. Okay, good. Now we're gonna do 10 seconds. So you just place your hands on the outside of your thigh. You shouldn't have to like force. Shoulders stay relaxed, elbows just gently bent. Again, you're just gonna press inward as if you were pushing your knees together, but your legs are gonna not let you. So similarly to the side steps, you should feel that outer thigh and glute area turn on just a little bit. 10 seconds. Just breathing, imagining the pelvis opening across the back, because that's what we're using the muscles to do. Bless you.
Thank you.
Relax, you can kind of wiggle it out a little bit. Again, we're gonna press those knees outward a little bit, just resist gently. Again, what's happening right now is it should feel like a slight pull and opening across this back sacral area. Good. One more time, take a nice deep breath in. And just resist that outward. Turn crooked in my seat. Good. The final thing we're gonna do, you can either put your fists side by side or you can bring your forearms. So like especially Sarah, where it might not be so comfortable to bring your knees narrow, lean over and you can just put your whole forearm between your knees and gently squeeze, almost like you're turning up the dial on a volume. So you're gonna start by squeezing just a little, then you're gonna build it up, build it up, build it up, build it up, till you're pretty much squeezing as hard as you can. And then if you rather, you can try fists together. Fists go just between the knees. Same thing, you're gonna start squeezing a little and slowly increase, increase, increase. Sometimes you might hear or feel a little pop right here, you guys. That's not, it doesn't mean it didn't work if you don't get the pop, and it's not a bad thing if you do get the pop. It's just that slight reset, just like an adjustment or like when you kind of crack your knuckle. So again, our bodies have these patterns that pull our pelvises out of alignment. And so this just helps to do a reset and make sure everything's kind of in the middle. I recommend doing it once a day just to kind of make sure things are staying. If you have pain and you notice this feels better, or like Sarah could have, when she was noticing that one stretch or not the stretch, the side steps were yanking on that left sacrum, she could have tried this, get herself a little more center, and then went back to it and see if she felt better. So it's just something to kind of keep things, again, we're all asymmetrical, but we want to keep things as mobile and symmetrical as possible. And so this is just a really good tool for that. Doing it seated like this, very gentle on the body. And it's slow. So it just helps kind of do that. Chiropractic can be super beneficial for women in pregnancy, but I also try to give them tools so that you don't constantly have to go to the chiropractor or feel like you're stuck at home at night in pain. You know, this is often a really great help for that. Any questions about that one, you guys? And again, there's videos for all this on the website, Wendy, so I'll shoot you an email with some of the main ones we went over today, but you're welcome to peruse all of those. Let us know if you need a band. We can get you one in the mail.
That would be great. Thank you.
What are you guys noticing in your bodies compared to when we were first checking in?
I definitely feel less tight through the center area, I guess.
Good. Okay. How about your hips?
Yeah, for sure. For sure more loose or more relaxed. Less tightness, I guess, in my lower back.
Perfect. Sarah, did the reset change how your left sacrum felt, or is it still kind of grabbing on you?
I'd have to test it out a little bit.
Okay.
I can tell right now it's a little more relaxed.
Okay.
And usually I have been doing your pelvic reset.
Okay.
And it usually helps for like an hour and then it gets funky again. But I've been doing both sides because I didn't know which one for the left. So that's really helpful to know which side to do.
Yeah, if whatever side, so you're kind of thinking you're pulling your muscles back in the right way. So if the left side feels like it's in the floor or bed more, that's back. So then you're going to pull it forward by firing up the quad.
Okay, that's great.
So yeah, if your left feels like it's in the back, that's the one you're going to want to focus on.
Up. Okay.
Pulling forward. Yep.
That's great.
And I love having women do this. I mean, usually what clients don't get to us until they're hurting and there's a problem, right? They don't come in just because they're pregnant. Most people don't even know there's physical therapy for pregnancy. But I love this one because hopefully Wendy, and I mean, it'll be one of those you'll never know. But I think if women had this tool, we all have sacral stuff going on, most women, especially after kiddos. And it's common for it to shift during your cycle. So I think if women could use this tool, then they'd be a lot less likely to get that pubic symphysis pain, because that happens because, again, the pelvis is slightly off and this joint right here where the pubic bones come together around the cartilage gets torqued and that cartilage gets inflamed and they have sharp stabbing pain right here. It is the worst. They can't roll over in bed. They have pain getting in and out of the car, pain with like if they have stairs or a curb. It can be excruciating and it's avoidable. Does that make sense? Awesome. Anything else you guys would like help with or want me to cover that you were hoping to do today? We can get heart rates up crazy or anything like that, but I'm not an aerobics instructor. We just kind of want to work all the things. One of my mottos for this, and like hopefully this gives you some clarity, Wendy, because there is so much out there, like don't do this and don't do that. And it's not much better when you have the baby. They're like, oh, you might have diastasis. Don't do this, you'll prolapse. Don't, you know. We want to be strong, but mobile. So that's why I try to include some of the strength stuff like squats, bridges, push-ups, but also mobile where things don't tighten up. We don't want to be strong, but gunked up where we don't have good motion.
Okay, yeah, I think I just need to be mobile again, because just being at home all the time and just not feeling good, I haven't been as mobile as what I usually am, so I think that would help.
And it's so hard, especially so many women that first trimester, especially we're puking or we're nauseous, like you don't feel like doing anything and you don't know, is exercise going to make you feel better? Or is it going to make you hurl? It's hard to know. In general though, the potential risks of working out, the potential risks of exercise do not come anywhere near the risks of not being active in terms of the impact to you and impact to baby. So just remember that too. That the potential things you might do to yourself exercising are not as significant as if you don't exercise, what can happen with your weight, your blood sugar, the impact on baby. So even it doesn't have to be hardcore, but just be moving, just do a little something every day. Most women have way too much on our plates. And so I try to be careful not to add a bunch of shoulds to their already full shoulding on themselves. And so, but a couple bridges, don't, we throw the baby out with the bathwater too. It's like, if I don't have an hour to go work out, forget it. It's like, no, your 10 minutes is super valuable. Just do push-ups today, just do bridges today. And then, there's always tomorrow. Make sense?
Yeah, that's definitely my problem is I usually get up early and work out in the morning and I don't feel well in the morning and then I'm working a lot. So it's, yeah.
Right. Yeah. Even if you it's after dinner and you're like, are you kidding me right now? I just want Netflix. It's like, just go get the Netflix going, go stand at the kitchen counter, do a set of push-ups, then come over to the couch and do 10 air squats before you relax for the night. That's still something. That's still going to keep some muscle activity, some toning.
Yeah.
Yeah. Doesn't have to be a full-blown workout. Obviously, getting some cardio in, doing some things for heart rate and all that health is good, but.
Sure. It'll make me feel better, I'm sure. So yeah, good advice.
Awesome. Anything else you guys would like a tip on, a stretch that you're not feeling? We didn't do a lot of shoulder stuff.
I'm pretty happy. That was really good refresher on like how to move and kind of work on my body. So I appreciate it.
And I'm sure we probably gave you your home program in like bits and pieces. So to go through most of it. Exactly. Good. Awesome. Well, you guys were here. And Sarah, I know we have at least one more with you before nothing's for sure, right? But
right.
We have one more scheduled for now. And call or text if you need anything. And like I said, Wendy, I'll shoot you an email with some of the videos and things we've been going over.
That would be wonderful. Thank you so much.
Of course. It's great to see you guys this morning. Thanks for jumping on and taking the time. And let us know if you need anything else. I'm going to stop the recording and then you guys can ask me anything else that you've thought of.